G'day, my name is Colette and I work with the School of Graduate Studies, and welcome to this presentation called Building a Graduate Community. Before I start the presentation though, I'd like to acknowledge that Queen's is situated on traditional Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee territory. We are grateful to be able to live, learn and play on these lands. We make this acknowledgement as an effort toward reconciliation and relationship building. This land was occupied long before European arrival by Indigenous peoples, with rich cultures that are still alive today. Now, by mentioning the history of this land, we hope to educate, to create an awareness of Indigenous histories for both domestic and international students as part of this institution's desire to foster inclusivity on campus and to encourage reflection on what it means to occupy this space. We offer this acknowledgement in recognition, respect and gratitude for the Indigenous people who have lived on and continue to live on this land and with whom we share a community. Now, building a graduate community is all part of thriving as a student, which is another video for you to take a look at later on. We've all heard that graduate studies can get lonely at times, particularly in research programs, and that unlike undergraduate studies, as a graduate student, you are expected to set your schedule and not be handheld the whole time. It is important then to make sure you have a community around you that you can call on from time to time, but also to share the experience. Your community does not have to be big, you just need to have some connections throughout your journey. So this session will help you explore your options. Now, before I move on, however, you are probably wondering how relevant is this when we are currently social distancing. Well, what I'll advise you today is what we can do in normal situations, but these opportunities can and have been converted to be online where needed. It is not the same as in person, but you can still start building your graduate community. We just have to be a little bit more creative. Now, the easiest way to start your community is to get involved. It's amazing how many people you'll get to meet and they can introduce you to others. So some of the best ways to do this are joining a club. There are 300 plus clubs on campus, and some are actually just for grad students only. You name it, I'm sure there is a club for you, from dance to playing cards to singing, drama, martial arts, chess, cultural, and many other sorts of types of clubs. And of course, there's nothing stopping you from joining clubs outside of Queen's, and that will open up even more opportunities for you. Another way is to volunteer in the community or on campus. There are always events going on, such as homecoming, that need your help. In fact, that is a great way to meet alumni. And if you haven't heard, Queen's Alumni Network is awesome, both while you're at school and after. There's also some of our central supports, such as Queen's University International Centre and the Bannery Centre, rely on volunteers to help with all the activities they put on, or just need someone to help welcome students to their respective centres. Of course, the SGPS, your student body, is always looking for help, as does the School of Graduate Studies. And in fact, it's a great way for us to get to know you too. Another way to get involved is be on an executive or steering committee, and it doesn't have to be highfalutin. So by that I mean, why not join a club, but also help organise it. Be the chair or president, event coordinator or financial person. There's also within your program, you can help organise a conference or be on your program social committee. So there's lots of different opportunities there to get involved. Now, whether you take on a volunteer position or a paid position, there are lots of opportunities. A great web page on the Queen's website is called Campus Life, which you can find at queensu.ca/campuslife/work, which highlights both volunteer and paid opportunities. It's a great place to get some ideas. Part of helping is not just for you, but to help others as well. And Kingston Queen's, like many places around the world, have people who sometimes struggle to put a good meal on their table each day. So within the community, we work with many groups to help with this, such as Soulful Food, the AMS Food Bank, and Martha's Kitchen, just to name a few. So you may want to go out and be a part of helping people in the community. There are other opportunities to work in the community too, called community outreach, and your program might actually be running something for that already. So I would suggest going and asking your graduate assistant about this. Of course, there are lots more opportunities, as you can see on this slide, so take a look at them and don't forget to reach out and ask if you need some more information. Now, we mentioned joining both clubs on campus and in the community, and maybe being part of a social committee or an executive, but there's one other area that I haven't mentioned yet, but is a great way to meet people while getting fit at the same time. Now, athletics and recreation have some great programming, including intramurals throughout the year, and of course wonderful facilities both indoors and out. Now, you're probably thinking, how can you do all this amid the COVID-19 social distancing? Well, the good thing is some of these opportunities right now are online. So go to the GoGalesGo.com website and look under the fitness and wellness section. You can join in virtual yoga and fitness classes. Athletics and recreation have a whole suite of videos and virtual sessions to help you remain fit. Some of the outdoor fields are now open if you are in Kingston, but remember, you do have to abide by health and safety guidelines. You still need to have small groups, and even within your groups you need to keep distance, not just between groups, but within your group you need to keep a distance. So until we get back to whatever the new norm will be, don't stop doing things, be creative and make the most of the opportunities that do open up to us. But remember, always stay safe. Now, the second part of building your community is to be informed. And the best way to know what is happening around campus is to be informed. That means you need to read your emails, both from your department and from the School of Graduate Studies. The SGS sends out a newsletter every Thursday to tell you what is going on relevant for graduate students. Your department may also have a similar one, as does the Society of Graduate and Professional Students, who send one out monthly. At least skim through them all, as there is always some great activities and opportunities highlighted and information that you may need to know as a grad student. Another way is if you're into social media. Now, the SGS, and when I say SGS, I keep forgetting, I mean the School of Graduate Studies, has a Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Instagram account. So your program may also have social media accounts, and Queen's, the SGPS, Quick, For Directions, and many other departments do too. So work out which one is of most interest to you and follow along. Now, the third part of building your community is making connections in your department. And you're probably wondering how you do make connections while everyone is working from home. And there is no doubt it would be a lot easier if we didn't have to worry about social distancing. But until then, you can still make contact with people in your department. I would suggest reaching out to your graduate assistant, yes, and they are still working. You will just have to send them an email, or maybe see if the department could set up an MS Teams group for you and your fellow students. If you have a supervisor, you need to start working out how you're going to work together. So set up a virtual meeting early to work that out, along with which platform you want to converse in. Do you want to chat through email or through Skype or a phone call or some other medium? The faculty are still working too, so you can connect with them, but just be respectful. Like for both staff and faculty, it's better to try and do it during normal office hours. And you can meet other students in your program. Just ask if there's a Facebook group perhaps that's being started, or whether you can connect via Skype or Zoom or Teams like I mentioned before, or something else. If there isn't something currently in your department, maybe you want to start coordinating one to get everyone else involved too. And don't be afraid to ask for help. I always forget that. You must ask. We're all here to help you, so don't be afraid to ask. Now, part of building a community is making the most of opportunities that present themselves to you. For instance, there are lots of professional development workshops being offered by the School of Graduate Studies or the Centre for Teaching and Learning, Student Academic Success Services, Quick and Full Directions. Now, you often meet the same people at these events, so you get to make yourself a nice little group there. Part of building a community is also building your network. So when you get an opportunity to present your work, do it. If you get asked to volunteer or help in community outreach, do it. You meet peers in your field, grad students outside your field, professors, alumni, community members. Who knows where those introductions might lead you? Now, if you come to graduate studies with your family, it is important to make sure that they too find their community and be a part of yours. Here are some ways that your children can make friends outside of schools. You can enroll them in some of the programming at Queen's, such as the Enrichment Studies Unit or Athletics Summer Programming, the Arts and Science Undergrad Society and other faculties on campus have programming and camps throughout the year. In Kingston, the library has great activities, as does the Boys and Girls Club, and these are just two examples within the community where your children can get to meet other children. If you're bringing your partner, think about bringing them along to some of the social activities your department or, for instance, the Society of Graduate and Professional Students or the Grad Club might be having. It's very, very important to make sure that they too fit into the community, because if they're happy, it makes things easier for you because you'll be able to concentrate more on your studies as well, knowing that they are happy. So whether you want your graduate community to be big or small, know you can always reach out and we can help you. Your graduate experience can be really rewarding, and you can see there are lots of ways to make connections. But sometimes you just have to go out of your comfort zone or be prepared to ask for help. I always say we have to look after each other. If we see a colleague on their own, ask them to join you or your group. It's really not that hard to do. And then with all of that, we can be one great graduate community here at Queen's. So thank you, and I look forward to meeting you all very, very soon.